And now it's time for our Bay Area baseball bit. And as usual, we are joined by our insider, Alan Stiles. Alan, the Giants are coming off just an amazing Bay Bridge series against the A's, and we'll talk about that series in particular in a bit. They win, the Dodgers lose, so they're 2.5 games up on the Dodgers. Now, the Giants have won 8 straight series, and they've been playing great ball, and you'd think you'd look at the standings and you'd see a little bit more separation, but the Dodgers are just going there pound for pound with the Giants. A pretty tough stretch coming up after the Mets. They have the Braves who are playing well, then, of course, the Brewers, and then the Dodgers. So it's going to be interesting. Do you think they can hold off their rivals to the south?
Well, being completely honest, Jason, your guess is as good as mine. You just said it. There's a really tough stretch coming up. They got to go back east. The Mets, you never know with them. They're supposed to be really good. They've had a rough stretch, a lot of injuries. Then you got the Braves who've been hot. And then the Brewers come to town. And like you said, the Dodgers do as well. And I think if the Giants can come out of that stretch with the NL West lead still in their hands and in their grasp, at that point, they will feel they can start to taste it. They can start to smell it, and they will finish this thing out. Conversely, if they don't have the lead after this stretch, I don't think that the Dodgers are going to let this thing go. And then you have the Giants in a situation after this miraculous, crazy season, all to possibly end in a one-game playoff, which is crazy to think, but sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. So we're going to see within these next couple of weeks how things shake out.
Those one-game playoffs seem to happen for the A's a lot, so let's talk some Oakland. They were hanging on strong, but the Yankees have taken over that top spot in the wild card race. Oakland now tied for the second wild card spot with the Red Sox. No Chris Bassett for the foreseeable future. That's going to be tough. Do you think that they can see this thing through without their ace?
Well, I think the good thing is that they do have a 4-game series coming up against the Yankees, so they can get those games back if they win. That's the operative word. You have to win those face-off head-to-head games. The other thing is the bottom line for the A's, they have a favorable schedule, but you have to win the games that you're supposed to win. They have a series against the Mariners coming up. You got to win it. They got a series against the Tigers coming up. The Tigers are awful. You have to win it. And I think if they win the games that they're supposed to win, they will sneak into the playoffs. And as we know, anything can happen once you get in.
All right, Alan, pretty simple question for you, but it might be tougher to answer because the Giants, they don't have any bad players, but, they don't have that guy who's, first in MVP voting. But who would you call their MVP this season?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head again, Jason. I mean, it's why the Giants have been so good. So many contributions from different players each and every day. But if I had to choose, it's got to be Brandon Crawford, the Bay Area kid. At this age, people had written him off, myself included. We all get really excited with the new shiny toy-esque shortstops, and they're dancing around, and they got all this energy. But Brandon Crawford reminded people that he's not going anywhere, so much to the fact where the Giants said, all right, we're just going to pay you now. We're not going to mess around and possibly lose you in the offseason because he's that hot of a commodity. All-star year, career year in a lot of different ways. So it would have to be Brandon Crawford, and they're going to need him down the stretch. So the job's not finished, and he knows that.
We can't let you go, Alan, without getting your thoughts on the Bay Bridge series. So what were your biggest takeaways from this fun weekend?
My biggest takeaways is those championships from the 2010 years when the Giants was torture. It seems like they kind of handed that to the A's, beating them in close games, 2 out of 3, and right in front of their home crowd. It was kind of tough to watch. If you are an A's fan, I understand it, but the Giants, they just never give up. And that's the bottom line. They've done it all season. We know that. The last takeaway that I have from that series is, my goodness, if the A's can hold on to Starling Marte, he leads the league in stolen bases. He's a complete bona fide stud. He can hit the long ball. He can really do it all. And it's so interesting to see him on a team where Ricky Henderson used to play. Obviously, he's been the guy, the stolen base guy. So it would only be fitting if he can keep him. And I really hope they do.
Yeah, I think one thing we can all agree on is going to be fun baseball down the stretch. We have 2 teams that are locked in and will be playing meaningful baseball from here on out. Now, for Alan Stiles, I'm our insider. That's all we have for our Bay Area baseball bit. We'll be right back after a quick break.